Just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains rattled loud. I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up in my mind to stay. Nothing was gonna drive me away.
Hey people, welcome to another vlog. Down in the basement workshop again. I've still got panels back there I need to carve. That's the second set of 20. The first set of 20 are out in the shop getting their thing done. I'll cover that a little bit more here in a little bit. Decided to pick up another project, and it's basically a maintenance project, something I've been needing to do. A lot of you will remember a couple years back I went and made up a bunch, not a bunch, but actually it was a bunch, but I went and converted my haunt over to LED lighting, and I made some, these are some single spot lights that I made, and I also made up some floods. Wasn't thinking too far ahead. When I originally made these, the wiring I used to attach it to power. Normally when you do your LEDs, it's best to use double colored wire is what I call it. Usually one wire is copper and the other one is silver in color. When I made these up, the wire I could get was both copper, which means there was no way of telling which one was positive and which one was neutral. So what I ended up doing originally, and I don't know if you can tell, oh, there you go, get you down there, I went and put a little bit of silver paint on the negative right down at the tip, which worked great the first year I used these. I used a series of quick connects to connect these to my main feed. And at the end of the year, you just go through and you snip off the end of the wire where it's at right at the quick connect and put the lights away. Problem was, when you snip it off, when I snip them off, I also lose that silver I painted on there. So the next year, I can't tell which is positive, which one is negative without having to test each one. And I decided, well, I'm going to fix it. So, I got one here I did. I ended up, in fact, before I go into what I did on this one, at the end of the year, my first, end of Halloween, right before I started doing my first set of foam panels, I mentioned I had left my power station down here. This is what I used. I made for powering all my LEDs, windshield wiper motors, anything that runs off a 12 volt or 5 volt. I made that up, and it just runs off of 2 computer power supplies in there. But and it has a master switch on there, so I can turn everything off, or I can just turn off one set at a time if I want, what have you. But anyway, I left that out because I mentioned I had a project to do. Well, the LEDs were the project. Now what I went and did is I attached a 30-foot long wire to the back of my power supply to this card here, which has 2 screws sticking out of it. And you notice a plus sign for positive and a slash for negative on it. The reason why I attached it to a 30-foot wire was because there are times, I'm basically focusing on the foam panel carving, which has to take place over here. I don't have room over in my room over there to be carving foam, and I don't want all the foam shavings around my computers and stuff. So I do all my foam carving over here. But there are times, say for Tech Wednesday video chat, Diablo 85's Hunters Hangout, Saturday Tech Chat, or times where I just take time off from the foam carving and want to watch some TV. Just sit there and just kind of space out. And everyone gets those things where you want to just space out. So I basically attached this to a 30-foot cable. I can actually take this, go into that room over there, and work on LEDs. It's not like I'm doing a whole heck of a lot of them at at one time, but it gives me something to do. I'm just sitting around idle and not foam carving. But that's why I left the power station down. Now what I ended up doing, like I was saying, I only had a little bit of silver paint. This is one that hasn't been used yet, surprisingly enough. And I'm going through testing them all by touching them to the screw leads to make sure, to figure out which one's negative, which one's positive. Then after I find out which one's negative, I'm taking a Sharpie and I'm coating the whole wire in black. That way the bare wire I know will be positive and the black wire will be negative. So I've been sitting down. I started last night on it. I've only got a few done. And I've been going through, testing LEDs, trying to figure out which is which, which is positive, which is negative. Now, something else, the wife and I got to talking. When I originally made up, here, wonky camera angle, sorry about that. When I originally made these up, I made a slew of these, and these are my spots. And I made green, blue, red, and UV, which I can use in my blacklight room. I also made up a bunch of these. These are my little floods I made. There's 6 LEDs per flood. And these things work great. But anyway, I made up a bunch of these, and I store them all in that container. You can see the mess in there. And I got the ones I've gotten done so far. But one thing we found a problem with is the spotlights that I made for UV. When they're set up in the flood like this, they work great, just as good, if not better, than the fluorescent blacklight tubes. But as a single spot, we were finding they don't have hardly any effect whatsoever. They don't work as good set up as a spot. So I was thinking a project I'm going to end up doing is, after I get done with all this testing and marking the wires to find out which is positive, which is negative, I'm thinking about doing away with my single spots as far as the UV goes and converting those over into flood. But instead of doing this style, which is basically a PVC pipe cap and a PVC pipe plug on the end of it that the lights are mounted in, and it's only 6 bulbs, I was thinking about making some large ones, maybe putting, 12 or 24 LEDs, making some large UV floods for my blacklight room and stuff, because that's the only place I use UV colors in the room. So that's going to be another project I'm going to end up tackling. And it's going to be, like I'm doing with this project. It'll be a project I can do while I'm watching TV or on video chat or what have you. So I'm going to be working on that in the evenings. Nothing major. Probably not going to show you much footage of me sitting here, testing wires. I don't think anyone would be interested in that. If I do decide to go ahead and design some larger floods, on the other hand, I will, vlog a little bit of that, so you can see the process on it and what I end up coming up with. But, with that, I wanted to cover this little side project because I am working on a second project that's different from the foam panel. With that, welcome to the vlog. You know what I'm kind of doing. Sit back, we'll get you some more footage. Hey, all you beautiful hunters out there. Getting your hunt on? As, Yard Hunter 5 used to say when he used to home hunt. I got to tease you a bit, Steve. Come on, we miss you out here. Out in the shop. I haven't done any carving. Been working out here mainly. Anyway, sorry for the interruption there. A little bit of a break between clips. Like I was saying, I haven't done any carving inside. I've been working pretty much out here and on a couple other projects, non-haunt related. But got out here, the panels, I had 20 panels altogether, actually 21. One I cut into a 1-foot section. Got them out here, I got them fitted to the wall frames, so they're the exact size they need to be. And as you can tell, instead of being pink, they're white on the front. I got the base coats on yesterday, so they're dry. Currently, I'm going through prepping to shoot the brown on the paneling that go on the bottom of the thing. So I'm going through and I'm doing some taping. Basically, I got a piece of paper, I stretch across, put tape on there, and that way when I'm spraying, I don't get overshot on the upper half. And then when I go to spray the upper half, I'll flip this down here and tape it on down here, you know, so I don't get overspray from that down here. So I'm basically working on that now. It's getting pretty late in the day. I'm not going to get any spraying done today. I'm probably not going to get all the taping done today, but I'll get most of the taping done. Non-hunt related, one of the things we're working on is we've been working on going through all the gardens, the bushes and stuff, getting them sheared, everything ready for planting. And if you noticed, the patio is emptied. I spent the better part of the day getting the patio emptied out and cleaned. Tomorrow we're going down to get a pressure washer, and if you notice, you know, like here, you know, this thing, the patio hasn't been painted in years, so we're going to go through, pressure wash it, let it dry for a couple days, and then paint the patio. So, you know, that's kind of eating into what time I've got. And I got a little kitty watching me there. Her name is Dove. Hello, Dovey Dove. Yeah, wink, wink. So, you know, I'm kind of working on that, and you know, spend a couple hours every day working on that, trying to get it done, then coming in here and trying to work in here too. So not making it too far, too fast on anything at the moment. Real life is rearing its ugly head again. Hey people, another day, another dollar. Been busy doing Halloween stuff and also doing other stuff. Other stuff was mainly the patio, which was a disaster area. I showed it to you. You got a little glimpse of it last vlog, and I think I might have showed it to you this vlog, and it was messy. Whoa, playing with the zoom again. Sorry about that. We got out here yesterday, had everything off the patio, and we went through and pressure washed the rafters. Basically getting it set up for painting. You know, a lot of the paint was starting to chip off. You know, so that's a project we're going to be doing in another couple of weeks. I know, not hunt related. Well, in a sense it is hunt related, because I store a lot of my stuff out here on the patio in between projects. Now, on to Halloween stuff. I did get in here yesterday as well, and as you can see, we got the brown on. The color of the brown, or the name of the brown, was nutmeg, and it was kind of a light colored brown. And I like the look of it, actually. I think it'll look real nice once you get your, once I get my cracks and stuff all, you know, colored in detail. These are my 1 foot panels here. All my 2 foots are there. And there. They're all over the place. Basically, what I need to do now is I actually got started on some of it. I went through and took the paper trim off of some of the panels and stuff. Now I need to go through, reapply it, and I need to move this piece down onto here so I can shoot my yellow on here. And I don't want the overspray getting onto the brown, so that's the reason for the moving the paper around. It's basically prep work. Once I get done with the yellow, then these things can sit out here for a week or two. I've still got panels in the house I haven't even touched yet that need to be carved. It's basically the other half of this pattern. Until they're carved, I can't start any detail work. So, gonna be working on trying to get the yellow on today. Should have that done today. And then we'll see where we're gonna go from that. My repairs I'm doing on the my LED lights is going right along. You know, that's another project. Not really all that much to show, other than one pile's getting smaller and one pile's getting bigger as I, you know, get LEDs done. But, you know, that's basically what we're working on. We're making some progress. It's beautiful weather out. It's been up in the 60s here, which is nice after having 30 degrees during the winter and colder. Well, just finished up. Got all the yellow sprayed. And now I need to let it dry for a couple of days. But there's your yellow, and you get a little bit better look here. Sorry, I can't back up too far. I got a chair in the way. But brown and yellow go good together. The yellow is real bright. I think it's going to get toned down a little bit once I get the black in the cracks and use the color red on the front. And even if it is still bright, it doesn't matter. This is going in the witch's display, and the witch's display, no matter how much lighting we put in there, It's always fairly dark. So I want something a little bit brighter in the background anyway, so the props will pop a little bit more, which is what I'm hoping. And I forgot to take my prep work off on these. There we go. It's all off, and as you can see there, I got a little dot of yellow on there that I could touch up. I'm in the brush on, or the brush end of it. But yellow panels, yellow and brown panels finished, and then these things will be sitting in here until such time as I get the other half of the wall panels carved. I've still got 20 more of these panels sitting downstairs waiting to be carved, which is what I'm getting ready to switch over and do now. So then once that's done, we can play musical chairs. These will go back in the house to get the detail work done, and the ones in the house will come out here to get their base coats on. And as you saw, I coated all the panels in white, masked it off, did the brown, then did the yellow, and that's the order. And then when I go to do my brush work, there'll be a certain order in the way I put the paint on that. The painting, when you're painting your props, it's basically a layering effect. You always have a base coat, then you put another coat on, another coat on, another coat on, and another coat on, changing colors as needed, to get your final product. And with something with like this, with the patterns being so intricate and stuff on here, it takes a lot of time, especially when you've got 40 panels to do. I'm a glutton for punishment. Well, people, we're back out in the Dragon's Lair workshop. It's been about a week or so since I shot the last segment that you saw. A little LED light project I've been working on, the maintenance. It's coming along. Not really all that much to report. Boring as all hell. Probably what I'm going to show you now, since you've already seen it. It's going to be boring as hell. Got the other half of the panels carved. The ones I had out here, they had the base coat on. You notice they ain't out here. It's because they're in the house, ready to start doing the detail work on them, which I'm hoping to start tonight, depending on whether I get into video chat or not and what's coming up. Real life's been kinky again. Currently, I'm working on getting these panels size fitted to the frame walls. I've got base coat to do. I got to get the yellow shot on. I've got to get the brown shot on, and then these can dry until the ones in the house are detailed, which is probably going to take about a week to do. I don't know. I haven't tried them. I don't know how fast they're going to go yet. But we're getting set up now for fitting. You see, I got the back wall out here. I got a panel on there. I just got to get it secure, go around, trim it off with my rasp, and it's ready to go. So here's the fitting stage. Base coat is finished, and we've got the brown shot onto the panels now, and with that, yellow is done. Okay, now that we've got the white base coat, the brown, and the yellow on, the rest of this project takes place in the house. It's all the detail work. I've got the cracks to do, I've got the skulls to do, I've got the trim on either side of the chair rail, and then I got the wallpaper to do. So a lot of brush work and what have you, but all in all, these panels compared to the others I did, the ones with the pillars on it, this one is going a heck of a lot quicker, which is kind of nice. I should be another couple of weeks, another week, 2 weeks, and I should have this done. So we're getting there, we're moving along. Stay tuned, more clips to come. Good morning all. Happy Easter to you out there. Hope you're getting a lot of jelly beans, chocolate eggs, that sort of thing. Wanted to give you kind of a semi-wrap up on the current project I've been working on. Actually, I've been working on two. I don't know, squirrels, lots of uhs. It's just I'm out of practice on filming, so. But anyway, I've been working on the second set of carved foam board panels for this season, and I'm halfway done with the painting. The painting on these is actually going fairly quick, so I figured I'd give you kind of a look at what we ended up with the carved foam board. It's a lot simpler pattern than the last set, which was a pillar set that I did. Not as complex on the carving, and painting's going a lot quicker. It took me roughly about a week to get the first half all painted, and that last panel wasn't lined up all the way, but oh well. But I figured I'd give you a look at these so you can see what they look like. Now, the first set I did, the ones with the pillars on them, that was going into our Gypsy display. And for once, and like Diablo's been teasing me, I semi-copied a scene setter wallpaper on it with the pillars. Even though the pattern was totally unique, there were some elements from that wallpaper that I put into it. This pattern here, on the other hand, is totally unique. I've never seen a scene setter that looks like this. So this is definitely a unique pattern. I think it kind of came out good. One thing the wife and I talked about when we were picking colors, especially on the wallpaper, was our witch's display is usually fairly dark, you know, with the lighting and everything. We wanted something with a little bit more pop to it, you know, so things stood out against it a little bit better, you know, thinking of haunt lighting. So we decided to go with the red and the yellow up on top, figuring the yellow will help brighten things out considerably in that display. The only thing I am unsure on these panels are the skulls. While I like the skulls, they just look kind of blah. So I was thinking about maybe coming back through at a later date and adding some stitching or something to kind of decorate the skulls up. I don't know. Don't know if I'll do that or not. That's something for down the road. I want to see how this looks in this year's haunt, and adding stitching to the skulls is something I could do for 2015 haunt. You know, if I decide to do it. But there's your final look on the wall panels. Now, another side project I started, I mentioned I was going to go through do some maintenance on my LED lighting, which I have done. It is all complete. But I did have a side project. As you can see, that's one of my homemade LEDs. This was actually one of the UV spots that I had. And I went through all my spots, took them out of their housing. Now I've got a nice big pile of LEDs. What I'm currently doing is I'm breaking them down back to their raw form, which means just the LED bulb. And I'm currently going through getting the electrical tape off of them. So they're down to this stage, down here. And as you can see, I've got a mess, and it's probably not focusing right. Here we go. But it's basically the LED, the leads, the resistor, and what have you. I'm going to break them down so I just have the bulb. And as I mentioned, I think in the other segment when I was talking about my LED light project, the UV, aka black light spots, don't do a whole heck of a lot. They work better as a flood than as a spotlight. So I've decided I'm doing away with all my spots, and I'm going to divide up what I've got in there for individual LEDs, and I'm going to make 2 mega floodlights out of them, I guess you can call it. You know, they're going to have, you know, like 30 or 40 LEDs in them in a bar kind of configuration. And that's a little side project. I'm not working on it every day. You know, it's basically when I'm watching TV or in video chat or something, and I feel like wanting to work on something on Halloween, I can grab that and do. You know, it's not a pressing project. If I don't get it done this year, no big deal. So, you know, that's the other thing I'm kind of working on. Right now, though, I need to get these panels out the window there and bring in the other 20 panels I still need to paint so I can get those done. Looking forward to having this done. To be honest, I'm getting tired of carving foam. And a lot of you are probably thinking you never hear me say that. But I've been working on it since November. once these panels are all the way done, that includes the other 20 I still got out in the shop. There's 40 of them all together. Once they're all painted and put away, I have one more display to do for carving foam, which I have to get done because I can't get into anything in my storage locker because I've got foam panels, foam blanks out there. The next set I'm doing will be going into my graveyard, into the torture chamber room, and probably my chain hall. There's going to be 50 panels in that all together, and it's a super simple display. It's just going to be a kind of like a stone block display, but I'm going to be adding some stuff to it with some other projects later in the season. And I'll give you more detail on that when I get to it. So it'll probably be next month's vlog. You'll get more info and stuff on that. But I wanted to get this done, wanted to show you this while I was doing the LEDs, since I mentioned them in this vlog, and I wanted to wish everybody a happy Easter out there. So stay spooky out there.